I love getting to tell people I'm a number one R&B artist, and they freak out when I tell them if it's this particular album that I'm a part of that did it. So, hey, everybody, good morning. My name's Sean Murphy, for those of you new to me on YouTube and other social media platforms. I'm a six-time number one best-selling author, international speaker and trainer. I've been paid to speak on stages in over 30 countries, been translated into over 40 different languages. I work with presidents of countries and CEOs and CMOs. And I work with people like me, farm boys from Ohio who barely made it through high school and drove by a lot of colleges, to help them have more of what they want and less of what they don't in this lifetime. So my whole goal is to help you compress time, to hold you accountable to do the things you know you need to do. All of you, all of us, over the last 4 decades, I know that everyone can double their income. Everyone can easily double their income without doubling their actions, right? This whole idea of, it's not about working smarter. It's not about working harder. It's about undoing personal undevelopment of what hasn't worked for you. So today we're going through Think and Grow Rich, and we're doing different chapters. And we're in chapter 3, and we just went through the self-confidence formula. So if you want to check out yesterday's or the previous days Think and Grow Rich on the self-confidence formula, it might serve you well. It's very powerful. I'm curious. I'd ask any one of you that have listened to this, did you write it out and did you sign it? I can tell you less than 1% of the population do that. With me having read this now for 20 plus years, over 50 plus times, and I don't know how many thousands of people I've helped walk through this. I don't know how many thousands of people have told me that they've read it. I ask them how many times have they read it, and they go, well, I read it probably a decade ago or 2 weeks ago or a year ago. No, that wasn't my question when you read it. It's how many times have you read? Listen, it's a Tuesday morning. How many times have you made love? Wait, what? Yeah. Somebody that you care for. How many times have you given them a kiss? How many times have you told somebody you love them? How many times have you reminded your kids they're pretty valuable, they're pretty smart? If things are important, you'll do them over and over and over. The reason people are not wired to read a book is because they're not wired to activate their senses. That's a whole nother training. We'll get into that. So let's continue on this. So we're on page, this is a book from Amazon, Think and Grow Rich, the original classic, because my pages probably won't match your pages unless you have this book. So page 88, and psychologists have named the law autosuggestion and let it go at that. Right? This has been the thing of, how do you explain, how do we recalibrate, how do we repopulate, how do we reinvigorate the subconscious mind? There's the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is what comes from the subconscious mind, what you have programmed into yourself, to what you think about, what you want to look about, what you want to look for, what you want to see, what you want to feel. You will morph the universe into that particular area. See, what we are wired to do is survive. We're not wired to thrive. The amount of, as a certified brain trainer, and understanding that some of you may know this, I'd ask you, what percentage of the energetic intake, aka calories, what percentage of all the things you consume does your brain use? You got 100% that goes in this hole, right? And through your skin, the largest organ in the body, what percentage of that food, those calories that you consume, the things that you take in, goes to your brain? 25%. If you've ever been to a seminar and sat in a chair all day and were exhausted at the end of it, well, you didn't burn up calories. You weren't digging ditches. You were using your brain power, and your brain doesn't like to use its brain power. Why? Because most people are wildly dehydrated, wildly undensely have nutrients in them. The brain is running on this fine line of just barely surviving. Most people's brains are skinny. Skinny brains make fat people. So if you're overweight, your brain's getting skinny. Do the research. So why is this book such a challenge? Why is this book so paradoxically not successful for people? Because they don't study it. Their brain isn't designed to thrive. It's designed to survive. And this is teaching you to think. And people don't like to think. 1% of the population think, 2% think they think. The other 97% would rather die than think. I'm asking you to think. I'm offering you a chance to think in a new way, to become wildly active in your own capability and capacity to move yourself forward. That's where the problem is most people are sheeple. They want to be led. I want you to lead you. And when you go to lead you, much like my sheep that I have, one by themselves, I don't want to leave the flock. It's really that, it's that powerful. It's that visual an example with the sheep that we have. So we're now talking about, we just went through self-confidence, and now we're talking about back to the formula. Back of this formula, this is the formula of, I will sign my name to the formula, the self-confidence formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day, and fill with full faith, and it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I become self-reliant and a successful person. Back of this formula is the law of nature, which no man has yet been able to explain. It has baffled scientists of all ages. The psychologists have named this law autosuggestion and let it go at that. And I think I mentioned yesterday how Einstein knew about quantum entanglement, but he couldn't figure out what it was. We didn't understand what quantum physics was. We knew there was something out there between you and me and this dark matter and all these things that we now talk about in as physicists. You hear them talk about it. He used to call quantum physics spooky theory at a distance. One of the most prolific, smartest men on the planet, one of the most groundbreaking minds of our time, maybe ever. And the thing that he called quantum theory, string theory, was spooky theory at a distance. That's the best he could come up with, and left it at that. So this is spooky success at a distance until you decide what it is you want, until you decide what the spooky theory is. And the spooky theory is you have complete control over your mind and you can create what you want. The name by which one calls this law is of little importance. The important fact about it is it works. For the glory and the success of mankind, it is used. The important fact about it is it works for the glory and the success of mankind if it is used constructively. On the other hand, if it is used destructively, it'll destroy just as readily. This is why most people struggle. They use it destructively. Why am I not good enough? Why doesn't this happen to me? How come you're not doing this? When you want dominion over another human being, when you want to control another human being, network marketing is really terrible about this. It's why I love the profession. I love what the profession can do for us. What I really don't like is how people want to tell people that they want them to be their worker bees. Listen, I did that my first year. I paid for that dearly. $80,000 was my first year's success. Oh, in debt. Because I didn't use the laws properly. I wasn't mean to anybody. I didn't tell anybody they should do it. I just figured if I give them enough rope, they'll pull themselves out of the hole. If I give them new boots, they'll pull themselves up by their bootstraps. If I give them a grindstone, they'll put their shoulder to the ground and their nose to the grindstone. If I gave them some wind, they would let it blow underneath their wings. None of that's true. You can't give anybody anything and expect them to do something. They just take it. They just take it. That's why many of you are frustrated, because you give so much of yourself without any response, without any compensation. Emerson's law of compensation, you may want to check that out. It's a powerful essay on compensation by Emerson. Let me continue. On the other hand, if it is used destructively, it will just as readily destroy. It'll destroy just as readily. In this statement may be found very significant truth, namely, that those who go down in defeat and end their lives in poverty, misery, and distress do so because of the negative application of the principle of autosuggestion. That I hope you underline, circle, put a star next to it, just for awareness. Just for awareness. The cause may be found in the fact that all impulses of thought have a tendency to clothe themselves in their physical equivalent. The subconscious mind, the chemical, there's no words in your brain, right? The fact that you say the words, there's people who will write out gratitude blessings. I wrote out my gratitude blessings. What was the feeling behind it? Well, I don't know. You just, you put some ink on paper. When it rings your bell, when it rings your clock, when it awakens you to a whole new level, it's never the strategy that gets you your success. It's the vibration while doing the strategy. If you do blessings to check a box, if you do gratitudes to check a box, to say, oh, I did them. I've done gratitude blessings for 2 years and nothing's changed. If that's the case, then you've only been doing strategy. If you say nothing's changed and you actually have done them for 2 years, 3 years, 700 times you've done something, 800 times you've done something, and you say nothing has changed, you're doing strategy, you're not doing state. If you read your DMP every day and it doesn't fire you up, you need to look at where's your fire? Where's your desire? Where's your faith? You have to build your faith, your auto-suggestion, your self-talk. There you go. In the subconscious mind, the chemical laboratory in which all thought impulses are combined and made ready for translation into the physical reality. Your thoughts from this morning. Well, how did you wake up this morning? How many thank yous have you said already? I'm going to ask you, I'm going to call you out a little bit. How many thank yous have you said this morning? Consciously thank yous, if you counted them. What's the number? Type it in the chat. I usually stop counting at 500. Before I've gotten to this call, I've usually said at least 500, if not sometimes wildly more. How many did you do yesterday? See, these are the things. This is the consistency. Let me ask you this. If you were going to have residual income, how often would you like it to come in? How often would you like residual income to come in? How about every hour? Every day is the end of the day. This is the way I want our minds to think. How often would you want residual income to come in? How about every second? How about every second residual income comes in? Now, the question you have to ask yourself is how much value did you put into the world in this second? Would anybody have paid you the amount of residual income you're looking for this second? Do you ever lose your shiitake and get mad at somebody? Anybody going to pay you for those seconds? Do you realize that your residual income is based upon your energy you're putting out in the world? And if you have some really negative, some really crappy moments, you realize you've got to offset that. If you're like here and you're going, ooh, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. Hey, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you drop way down here and you get mad at somebody or your dog. You get mad at the sheep. You get mad at somebody and you drop way down here. Do you realize that you've got to get back up to here before the residual income can start? So not only did you lose the time to go down into the hole, you've now lost the time to get back up to it. And some people, it takes them decades to get out of their demon hole. You really think that you're going to do this on your own? Do you think that you're wired to do this on your own? Good luck. The DIY method, you are going to cut your teeth and you are going to spend 40, 50 days, 40, 50 weeks, 40, 50 months, 40, 50 years trying to figure it out because you keep screwing things up thinking you know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I still have mentors to this moment, not to this day, to this moment. And what you'll find is anybody who breaks the cycle found their moment and found their mentor. It's a hero's journey. If you're still struggling, you keep refusing your call. Hero's journey. First thing is answer the call. You answer the call. I'm going to do it. I write down my stuff. I do my stuff. You go through the door and it scares the hell out of you because you're the only one that can go through your door. And once you get to the other side of the door, the mentors appear. This isn't, go look at Joseph Campbell's 13 steps in the hero's journey. All of mythology describes it this way. The challenge is that you find a mentor and then you leave that challenge, that journey, and you go back out and you try to go through the other door and find another mentor who will make you feel more comfortable. And you won't. It just happens that way. This is how powerful faith is. You are not wired to thrive. You are wired to survive. And I bet you're doing pretty good at it. The pages of medical history are rich with illustrations of cases of suggestive suicide. A man may commit suicide through negative suggestion just as effectively as by any means of others. In a Midwestern city, a man named Joseph Grant, a bank official, borrowed a large sum of the bank's money without the consent of the directors. He lost the money through gambling. One afternoon, the bank examiner came and began to check the accounts. Grant left the bank, took a room in a local hotel where they found him 3 days later, where he was lying in his bed, wailing and moaning, repeating over and over these words, "My God, this will kill me. I can't stand the disgrace." In a short time, he was dead. The doctors pronounced the case one of mental suicide. Just as electricity will turn the wheels of industry and render useful service if used constructively, or snuff out a life if wrongly used, so will the law of autosuggestion lead you to peace and prosperity or down into a valley of misery, failure, death, according to your degree of understanding and the application of it. If you fill your mind with fear, doubt, and unbelief in your ability to connect with and use the forces of infinite intelligence, the law of autosuggestion will take the spirit of unbelief and use it as a pattern by which your subconscious mind will translate it into the physical equivalent. This statement is as true as the statement that 2 and 2 are 4. This is, I have written in the margins, not about doing certain things, about doing things in a certain way. Like the wind which carries one ship east and another west, the law of autosuggestion will lift you up or pull you down according to the way you set your sails of thought. The law of autosuggestion, through which any person may rise to altitudes of achievement which stagger the imagination, is described well in the following verse. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but think you can't, you're almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of this world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in a state of mind. If you think you can, if you think you are outclassed, you are. If you've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or the faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Just as a master musician may cause the most beautiful strains of music to pour forth from the strings of a violin, so may you arouse the genius which lies asleep in your brain and can cause you to drive upward to whatever goal you may wish. Goes on to a story, Abraham Lincoln. Let us consider the power of faith. This is the bottom of page 91. As it is now being demonstrated by the man who is well known to all of the civilization, Mahatma Gandhi of India. Could you imagine being alive at the time when Mahatma Gandhi did what he did? Isn't that kind of cool? It is in this man, the world has one of the most outstanding examples known to civilization of the possibilities of faith. Gandhi wields more potential power than any man living at this time. And this, despite the fact that he has none of the orthodox tools of power, such as money, battleships, soldiers, and materials of warfare. Gandhi has no money and has no home. He does not own a suit of clothes, but he does have power. He does. How does he come by this power? He created it without his understanding of the principle of faith. He created it out of his understanding the principle of faith, and through his ability to transplant the faith into the minds of 200 million people. When or what was the last time you witnessed the result of lack of faith? What does the full conception from your clients, what does full cooperation from your clients look like? Sound like? Full cooperation. Why? What's keeping them from full cooperation? These are my notes. What would be the most powerful kind of reform your economy needs? How you make money. That's probably the most powerful reform of your economy needs. How you make money, period. So now if you got to ask, how do you make money? If I ask you, how do you make money? I'll ask you, what business are you in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in 6 months from now? Those 3 questions. Then if I wanted to ask 2 more, how's business? That's where you got your breakdowns. It's not another book until you know what book you need to read. It's not another program until you know what program you need. We just keep grasping at straws and hoping something works. Business is due for reform. Make no mistake about it. The methods of the past, based upon the economic combinations of force and fear, will be supplanted by better principles of faith and cooperation. Men who labor will receive more than daily wages. Men who labor will receive more than daily wages. They will receive dividends from the business, the same as those who supply the capital for business. But first, they must give more to their employees and stop bickering and bargaining by force at the expense of the public. They must earn the right to dividends. So we know what dividends are. It's return on capital investment into a company. My question to you is, what are the dividends you've invested in you paying off on? What are the dividends you're receiving from your hard work? And if you're not receiving dividends, AKA we call it residual income. If you're not receiving residual income, it's because you're the basic laws of human nature, you're not putting value out into the world enough for the world to say, we need more of that. We're still in faith. You understand that? We're on page 92, still in faith. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read these pages, so there's doesn't look like there's a whole lot of, for me, page 102, there's some notes. The rest of these are stories. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. So yeah, we've got a couple more pages. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways. What'd you learn? What'd you like? What are you becoming aware of as it relates to faith?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Selena?
I'm doing incredible. How are you?
Outstanding.
So, my question is, when you want to transition from doing more of the inner work to doing the outer work of outputting more and more, like how can you do that without overthinking and just like moving from laziness, I guess, or just because it's more comfortable to do inner work than to like put out, you know?
Right. Do you want the you bought a program for $49 answer, or do you want the mentor answer?
Of course, the mentor answer.
Your inner work ain't working. Because if your inner work worked, you would figure out there's no reason to be fearful of the outer work. So the inner work's not working.
Well, I feel like the inner work I've been doing is reflecting. Well,
not working. It's not working.
My state.
You asked me a question. Don't argue it because it's not, you're going to just dig a hole. Your inner work is not producing the outer work. If your inner work works, you will go stand in front of fires naked if that was the case. If you knew that was the thing, your inner work isn't working. This is the mentor conversation. Now, the $49 story, well, you're working on it and eventually you'll get there. You should just keep going. Keep going. No, stop doing what you're doing. It's not working. And your ego shows up, not the Selena that asked the question. You know, there's multiple personalities. The one who asked the question needed this answer. The one who didn't want to hear this answer, that you've just been wasting time on this inner work for 5 years. Now it's all good stuff. And when you start to stack it in the right way, it'll explode because you've done more inner work. The challenge is that there are these individual silos that have no accountability to them. And you've got a little inner work here and a little work. If you ever stack those together, Katie bar the door. Yet if you stack them together, you become a new identity. You're not the Selena who does inner work. You're the Selena who does outer work because your inner work is solid and moves you forward.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Kind of hurts a little.
I like pain.
I know. And now imagine the pain
pain.
Imagine the pain of doing the unknown to have the unknown. Right now, you're doing the pain of the known to get what you know you're going to get. Nothing. Frustration, aggravation. Why do I keep struggling? I do the inner work, but I don't do the outer work. No, you're not. You can't be doing the inner work. And inner work is practice. It's when you perform that you get paid. Yeah. You're doing practice. You've got to go test it. The challenge with inner work when it doesn't get tested is we think, oh, I need more inner work. You don't need more inner work. You need some outer work so you can figure out what the hell you need to focus on your inner work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you did your video. Have you posted it?
No. Because that was just the first.
Dr. Freud to the lobby. Dr. Freud to the lobby. Stop.
Well, I changed the
blah,
whole
blah,
topic.
blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Did you post it? No, you did a good one. It was a good video.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. But you know why you won't post it? Because you won't be embarrassed by it. You're frustrated with it. There's a different thing between being embarrassed and frustrated. Frustrated with it. There's people who are fat, who are frustrated with being fat and being unhealthy, who won't go out in public because they'll be embarrassed. What do most brides do before their wedding? What are they
Try to
focused on from January to June when their wedding is?
losing weight.
You know, there's a whole thing. I don't know if it's still going on. I'm sure there's a new trend. They call it something new, but they called it sweating into the dress. You know me, I'm a big bridesmaid kind of guy. I would know this stuff. No, this is, I understand the psychology of human beings. Sweating into the dress. They buy a dress 2 sizes too small so that they're forced and they pay for it. I got all my fat clothes in the closet in case I get fat again. Not when it's a wedding dress. Sweating into the dress. They force themselves, and the bridesmaids, or if they're close, they're sweating into their dresses too, and they want to make sure the bride looks good, and they'll suffer themselves so that she can have her day. It's all for the day. All for the day. Wedding's over. Fatty 2x4 can't fit through the bathroom door. They put the weight back on. Why? Because they weren't embarrassed enough. You've got to get embarrassed. I've been embarrassed. I've walked out on stages and forgotten what the hell I'm going to say. I've been embarrassed. Introducing the master distributor of the company I'm the vice president of. First event. I'm doing a long ass introduction because I can't remember his name. So in between all of my talking about his accolades and his things, I'm looking in the front row of, can I give enough accolades? Can I give enough description of him that I can point to the front row and go, who am I talking about? Who am I talking about? I mean, I had a whole plan working while I'm on stage in front of 3,000 people, trying to figure out what the hell is his name. And I just walked away from him 2 seconds ago. It was at that moment, right? It's like in the videos and the memes. It was that moment he knew he screwed up. So that doesn't happen again. I literally tell the people, if they've got what's her name? Viviana Makumi. Viviana Makumi from Africa. She's a multi-million-dollar network marketer. She does it with, I think it's with the company Tien's out of China, because she sells feminine pads and another female product. But she makes millions selling those in Africa. And she came to the A&P once, and I got to introduce her. Vivian Makumi. And I said, Vivian, please, if I come out and I mess up your name, please correct it, because I know I'm saying it right to you right now, but things happen when you walk out. I didn't, but I was giving my brain enough reason that I wouldn't be embarrassed. And the embarrassed part of me that wanted to show up, that wanted to grab the mic and screw up the name, went, well, if you're not going to be embarrassed, what the hell? I'm not going to be able to do my job, so I won't even show up. So what do you got to do now? What do you get to do now?
Put more things out.
Sure. What I would suggest you do is go find a mentor. You need to find somebody to hold you accountable. The challenge is most people can't hold you accountable because they're too influenced by, this is your big brother talking. They're too influenced by your beauty, too influenced by the inner work you've done. They haven't done the inner work. How are they going to guide you to do the inner work?
Yeah.
They're too overwhelmed by how much you've done. You've traveled, you sat in front of a campfire and had food, and you've peed in the woods, and you've done all these, right? They're like, what am I going to teach you? That's the problem with most mentors who are only coaches. They think they need to teach you. They haven't fully grasped the idea of personal undevelopment. You have all of the skills, girl. Z-Snap, you got it all. You just ain't using it, because if you do, it's a new story. And that's where you need the help.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be reaching out to you later.
Okay. Because you can come here every morning and you can, and I can chip away and you can listen, go, oh my God, that hit me. Oh my God, that makes sense. But soon as you leave this environment without the accountability, without the fee of what it's going to cost you, see, here's the thing. How much is your lack of discipline cost you? It's cost us all millions.
Yeah, that's where all of our suffering comes from.
And so now my question is which account do you want to go put money into today? The lost account, the frustration account, because you're going to go spend today, you are going to spend the most precious 24 hours of your life. When you put your head on the pillow tonight, you have either paid into the negative solution or the positive. The challenge is when you start putting into the positive, you're like, oh my God, the account's almost empty. This one was full. You forget why it's full, because it's not the one it's not the one you want. And you think, but I got to start over. No, this is starting new with all the experience of all of that. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it is. It's simple.
It's painful until you look at somebody like AJ, 18 years old, started with me. Struggled. He wanted to punch, still wants to punch me in the nose every now and then. Now it's a different kind of punch. But you look at what he's accomplished. You look what he's accomplished in the last year. Because he's doing the work. The program works if you do the work. If you're not going to do the work, it doesn't matter. But if you do the work, it works. Guaranteed, 100%. Napoleon Hill says it. It works 100 times the secret to success. Wallace D. Waddell says, if you follow the rules, prove me wrong. Do everything in the book. And if it doesn't work, it won't work for anybody. But if it works for one, it can work for everyone.
Yeah.
The laws of success, the science of success. Success is mathematical. It's very easy. And in today's world, you can multiply. There's people talking now that one person is going to start a company, and one person by themselves will create $1 billion company. I met a guy yesterday whose son is selling nutritionals online. And last month, he and his wife did $750,000 online. Wow. He and his wife. Now, they probably spent a 20, 30,000 in advertising, whatever. They had profit though, because he's got the house, they got a 1-year-old child, he's got the Lambo. Right? But he's got to learn to keep it now, because he's only 29. I don't think he's 30 yet. Why? Because of leverage. And we all struggle. And we struggle because we don't understand leverage.
Yeah.
And when you finally understand leverage and you understand the value you can put out through leverage, it's freaking a no-brainer. But right now, we're not even using our brain. We're using our old patterns. And we keep looking, going, well, why are they having success? Why are you worried about their success? That's the problem. You're worried about their success. Why not spend some time on your own? Just a thought.
Thank you.
I love you.
I fully hear you. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways. What did you get? And what did you get from that master class that another queen of vulnerability shared with you? And yes,
good morning.
I attacked her, but I did it to protect her, because I get frustrated for how long it takes people to break through. So good morning, Mr. Bob Kane, horseman.
So yeah, you didn't attack her, you loved her. It's what you did.
Well, but on that side of it, it doesn't always feel like that. That feels,
yeah,
like
you gotta know what it really feels like. So what came to me the other day as I was and I do a lot of my uh, um, meditating as I wake up. I'll lay there in bed and I'll spend a good bit of time. Sometimes it's at 4 in the morning or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
um, and working on belief
Mm-hmm.
and struggling with that. And what it came to me is, okay, find something I really believe in and then link what I want to believe in to that.
Okay.
And I think I'm onto something there. I liked it. It felt good. That felt like a a way to become what I want to become, who I want to become. Um, because I know I'm capable of so much more.
Mm-hmm.
God has put those abilities in me, and I don't know. That makes sense to me. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. And
So when you, as a coach and as a mentor to your swim kids, did you ever paint the vision of what it was like for them to win?
certainly,
Was it easier for you to paint the picture for them what it was like to win because you knew you saw more skills in them? You didn't have their personal doubts, so you could believe
right.
in them more.
Yep.
The only thing holding any of us back, Bob, is our personal doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to imagine what would it be like? And this is where visualization comes in. This is where meditation comes in. Meditation isn't about quieting the soul, it's about directing our attention. When they say quiet the mind, you're literally directing your attention to the nothingness. And in the nothingness, you can have all that you want to the thing you want. And the challenge, the reason most people can't meditate is because they don't know what the hell they want.
And
I
if you
get on the
don't know what you
tractor,
want, you're not going to get anything.
right? You'll focus on, if you
Yeah.
don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the question is what's the new story? You have to think yourself into a new vibration. What happens if now $20,000 a month starts coming into the ranch?
Yeah. Life
Regardless of
changing.
what means.
Right.
So now
Yeah.
what would you change? What would be the first thing you do? Would you fix a fence? Would you remember it's not about paying the bills. The bills are all paid for 20 grand a month.
Right.
And you got 98 cents left over. What are you going to do with the 98 cents, right? Because there's big expenses on a ranch. Would you
Yes, sir.
upgrade the tractor? Would you make a
I paved the
donation?
driveway.
Okay, so now imagine go through, here's how you do this. This is playing it out 7 levels deep. You'd pave the driveway. Go put 2 flags on how wide you'd make the driveway. The universe says, well, yeah, but you've thought of crap before and you never did anything. Go do the physical. The universe has to see you enacting the plan. Go put a flag. You probably have some orange flag somewhere. Go put an orange flag at the top of the driveway, at the 2 wide points, and at the bottom of the driveway. You know what your bride's going to say? What are you
What the
doing?
hell are you doing?
I'm preparing to pave the driveway. Well, we don't have the money. Oh, we do. We will. I'm just wanting to see what it looks like. So in spring, we can get it done.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, everybody's thinking about paving the driveway. This is called a mastermind.
Okay. I like
Have
that.
somebody come out and give you a free quote.
Yep.
To think I would pave the driveway and then do nothing, the universe is like, you lying sack. You haven't done anything in it. This is
Yeah.
what I was telling Selena. Your practice is perfect. You're not performing. The universe needs to see you perform. Let me ask you this. Somebody says, load my horse. I can't load my horse. You're like, okay, well, I'll think about it. No, I'll go load it.
Yeah.
You don't sit and, okay, let me go into my manifestation. Let me go into my meditation. I'm going to manifest a simple loading of the horse. If they're asking you to load the horse, it ain't going to be simple. It's going to be fun when you close the gate and lock that back panel. You're like, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. Imagine the paving company had such a poor last year that when you call them up, they said, we've got a special. We need to put our guys to work. Can we come out and do it today? We'll do it for cost plus 10. You're like, wow, outstanding. The universe wants to reward you, and it wants to show you how. The universe wants to freaking brag.
Yeah.
The universe gave us 2 sets of twins. Now that's normal for sheep. We didn't get it our first year. You know why the universe didn't give it our first year? Because they said, you can't find your ass with a map and a flashlight. We're not giving you more than you can handle.
Yeah, that's true too.
This year, we didn't plan on twins because we didn't have any last year. We didn't have any our first year. So we didn't plan on. And then all of a sudden, pop, what? Twins? Oh my God. And then again, twins. Why? Because we could handle it. The universe wants to brag. You want sheep? I'll give you twins. I'll give you a sheep who wasn't supposed to be pregnant. Bunny. Gizmo snuck in and got his daughter pregnant. We're like, oh my God, please don't get it. I hope nobody's pregnant. And I knew she was pregnant. I could tell how fat she was. I'm like, oh God. The horror stories you hear about, right?
Yeah.
Zorro's this brilliant little buck. He's amazing. Nothing wrong with him.
Good.
Do it again. But my point is that we were blessed by abundance because we had done things better. We prepared. We actually built stalls instead of having these things held together with baling wire and chewing gum, literally. So go get some flags. Imagine what it would feel like. Where would it end? Where would the apron end? Is there the little hump in the driveway that they're going to have to take out? Just start thinking of these things in the universe. Oh, so you really want this? We got to put a driveway in at 135 Rocky Top Ranch. It's just that simple. I promise you, your reticular activating system, by programming it, by putting in the flags, shows the universe you have faith. And yours isn't faith of a mustard seed. It's faith of an orange flag, which is the size of a mustard seed. But all of a sudden, you start walking that driveway knowing that it's paved. What's it going to be like when you mow? Do you have to, is the tractor are you going to have to edge it?
No.
Right. You know what I'm saying? These are things you got to think about.
Yeah. My bride already has.
Okay. So my point is,
she wants it edged now and it's gravel.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing that now with mine. So a lot of the stones push out. So since I'm watering with a 2-inch fire hose, I now take the hose and I hit the sides of the driveway. And there's a ton of gravel in that grass that I blow back into the driveway, and those little ruts are gone now because all of the stones are back in the driveway.
There you go. Good job.
Michelle's like, wow, what'd you do to the driveway? I go, secret, top secret. So go get the flags. Imagine, start walking like it's paved. Where is it paved around the garage? Do you have an apron for the cars to park, or does it go right in, right? All of these things, start playing it in your mind. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you tell the universe, get your butt in gear. I'm doing this. But if you're not performing, if you're not putting it out there, the universe is like, wish in one hand and you know what in the other, and see what you get first. Yeah, and if you're not doing anything, you don't need me. Yeah. The universe says you don't need me to practice. You need me to play. You need me to perform. You can practice all you want.
All right, I need to share one more thing here.
Please.
That came the next night, and it went back to my coaching, which I have 12 years now. I've been retired from that. But the thought came to me of so many times you're running a practice, you tell the athletes what to do, and they kind of can mindlessly get through it. So my thought was, and again, our conversations have definitely stimulated this idea, was to take a moment, just visualize, okay, you got 40 kids in a pool and you're the coach on the deck and you're telling them what to do. Here's the next set we're going to do. And then you give them time to visualize the result that they want. And I don't know how you do it effectively. I've been pondering that. If you could have them write it down, that would make it even better.
So,
but to take X amount of time, how many minutes to really visualize the results you're going to get from that set you're going to give them.
Yep.
The results they will achieve from it would be multiplied many times over, I believe. I'm
Well,
actually
you know the
thinking about
secret.
reaching out to the American Swimming Coaches Association and some other people that I know and seeing what I can do about sharing this thought.
So the key is when you're about to explain, so this is the same thing we do in network marketing. This is the same thing we do in personal development. Is when we're about to go do a strategy. In yours, it's a particular, it's breaststroke, it's we're going to do arms, we're going to do butterfly, whatever it is. There's a strategy you're about to go do.
Yep.
And it's a new strategy to them. It's a new action for them. The way you make it sink in with 40 people in a room or 4,000 people in the room is you ask a question that sounds something like, we're about to go, what would be the title of one of the actions you're about to tell the kids to go do in this? They're all standing there in the pool and you say, we're about to go do fill in the blank. What are you about to go do?
We're going to do 10 100s on 130.
Excellent. So we're about to do an exercise. We're about to do a strategy. We're about to do a performance-based activity called 1030s, 130s. And before we go do it, I'd like to ask you, why do you think we're asking you to do this? Why do you think we're guiding you to this strategy? What's the benefit you as the swimmer is going to receive? And I point to him. Well, I'll get faster. And listen, if you want to repeat what somebody said, own it though. If that was your idea, you don't have to come up with a new one. I was going to say that. No, if that was yours, say it. So why is it that you think we're going to have you perform this strategy? When you're doing loading, when you're teaching somebody how to put a saddle on and they're pulling the belly strap, I'm sure there's the correct name for it. It ain't the belly strap. Why do you think we want to pull this tight? So we don't fall off and bang our head, right? Why does the bit go in this way? Why does this horse have, if you ask the why question, why do you think we're asking you to do these activities? You watch their brain, you watch their eyes, they all go up, their heads tilt back. They're like, God, universe, give me an answer. Because we're so used to being told what to do, we don't know why we're doing it.
Right.
So I would offer you, whenever you're about to mentor somebody, one-on-one or 1-on-40, part of the training philosophy is, so what's the benefit of that? What changes? You hear me ask, what's your new story?
Yeah.
Because we're always about the story here. We're not about performance or getting faster or doing something else. What's your story? What's the new? So who's got to die? What's the new identity? I'll ask that question 1,000 different ways. So what's your new identity? Who's going to be jealous? I'm always asking you to build a story in your mind about the thing you've never done. So I need to see why you would want to do it. You don't want to do it for me. You're not in the pool because of me. You're in the pool because your parents said you're going out for swimming, or maybe you like swimming, right? I went and played basketball because the coach said, I need somebody tall and not so smart on my team. I need somebody who can box out, somebody who can play the bass. Okay, I can do that, coach. Put me in, coach. I will play bad. I will knock Johnny down, right? So that was me. And then I got a scholarship because of my team ability, not because of my education. I wasn't going to St. John's University because of my scholarship, because of my academic ability. It was because of my leadership ability. Yeah, I got a scholarship to St. John's where the redheaded kid, it begins with an M. Anyways, he was like the guy at the time. They had just won some major champions. Tell you how much I really didn't know about stuff. But anyways, my point is ask him, why do you think I, as your coach, as your mentor, as your guide, as your teacher, as your sponsor, why do you think I would suggest you to do this? Because I'll do better. And if you do better, what happens? I'd have more people on my team. And if you had more people on your team, what would happen? Yeah, I'm literally walking them through the 7 questions without going, tell me why you want that. Tell me your why. Your why should make you cry. Why do you think why do you think anybody asks you to write a list? Why do you think anybody asks you to buy a trailer like this? Why do you buy a horse trailer and not a open top trailer? Have you seen the meme where the guy's leaving the auction with the cows and he's got a strap across the cows' backs, literally to an open top trailer?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
right? And you're
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? And the cows are looking at, what did he do? What here? They're literally in a top with the sides are about 2 feet high. The cows are 4.5 feet tall. And a guy is literally taking one of those moving straps and put it over their back and tied him to the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't gonna. Well, listen. I'm sure he got him home. God watches over babies, drunks, and people leaving the cattle auction.
Yeah. And people like me every day.
Yeah. So does that help?
It does. It does. Yeah.
Because you have these skills.
Yeah.
Why would you go load somebody's horse? Because they're in trouble, they're in pain, and they
Yeah.
need to get the hell out.
Yeah.
But why would you really go load their horse? Because you have a heart to go do it.
Right. No, I enjoy helping.
So now the key is ask them why you would want, you need to ask them, why would you want me to load your horse? Because I can't. So here's my payment. Here's my payment. You need to come to the barn so that I can show you how to load your horse in a quiet time so that you can do this the next time.
Yeah, I had that happen once. Oh, we're gonna come over and have you help us, or yeah, I never heard from them again.
Okay, so here's
They got their horse home, and then
so
who
here's
knows what happened. I
right.
don't
So
know.
here's the qualification. What does that look like? See, they didn't have the new story.
Yeah.
So you say you're going to come to the barn. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll load up and we'll come to the barn. What day would you do that? You haven't loaded their horse yet. This is called the hooker factor. Why do they ask for their money up front? Because once it's done, there's no reason to pay.
Yeah.
It's literally in sales. It's called the hooker factor. No disregard or bad meanings to hookers.
Well, I was a hooker. You didn't know that about me, did you?
No, but I probably have been a hooker. Called it a couple times.
I played rugby and the position was hooker.
There you go. That explains some brain cells.
Yeah, swimmer and a rugby player. That's not a normal combination.
Mm-mm.
But,
I remember
I never qualified to be normal anyway. So.
There you go. I remember I was a freshman at our school, Gilmore Academy. This was the fancy school that I went to.
Yeah.
And I was out walking towards the football field, and a parent pulled up and they said, "Where's the natatorium?" I didn't know what the hell a natatorium was. I said, "Where's our natatorium?" And I was standing right in front of the building. Literally standing. I came down the steps out of the pool.
Yeah.
That's what I knew it as, out of the pool building. And right there, and the parent pulled up and said, "Where's the natatorium?" I go, "Hell, I don't know." I didn't say hell. I said, "Ma'am, I don't know. I'm sorry. Let me ask. Where's our natatorium?" They pointed right behind me. They go, "The pool house, you idiot." That was a senior in their loving, caring, kind way. I said, "Evidently, sir, I didn't know it was called a natatorium." I'm like, how the hell did you get into school? Yep, we'll never forget that one.
No, I don't
remember
think
the
you
word
will.
natatorium. I was embarrassed.
Yep.
That was the perfect thing. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I now knew it and never forgot the word natatorium.
You'll never forget that word. Yeah.
I probably have only used it 4 times since I graduated that school. And this is probably the 4th time. Natatorium. There's 5. Natatorium. I love it.
But emotion. That's what made that difference, right?
That's exactly
Our
the
emotion.
fear of being embarrassed. And that's why we avoid what we're about to go do. That's why you avoid calling people out saying, you said you're going to come to the rent. Great. Write me a check now. I'll give it to you for half off. Okay, well, go get somebody else. Load your horse.
Yeah.
They're paying for your experience. That's why you ask me, you guys get this for nothing. You get it for your time. You pay the most precious thing you have, your time. But if you wanted me to drive down my driveway and turn left and get onto Burnt Ridge Road, it's 15 grand just to leave my driveway. That's why you show up here every morning. You're like, oh, this is such good stuff. And then you don't do anything with it because it forces you to go to work, and you can go listen to other people who tell you don't go to work, just buy their program and read this stuff and you'll be fine. You're not doing the outer work to prove your inner work is solid enough. You all got enough solid inner work. You're just choosing not to use it because then you'd be embarrassed because you're going to screw up. Oh, your biggest screw ups haven't even come yet. They just haven't, because you're venturing into something new. You will never do new perfect. You have to do it unperfect before you can get it perfect.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Love it.
Hey, love you, brother. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Love you tons.
All
Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions? We have our live event coming up in October. For those of you that would like to learn, if you're not part of the mastermind, fully up to date on payments, then reach out, find out what it's going to cost. And I would invite you to it. It's going to be an intimate one. There's only going to be a handful of people here, and it's going to be wildly powerful. Wildly powerful. Cool weather. Wonderful stuff here. We're going to really dive into 2026. You will have an absolute bulletproof plan for 2026 to hit whatever dollar figure you want. Why? Because you're going to build it. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so awesome. Anyways, last call, comments, thoughts, takeaways. All righty, Aphrodite. I love you tons. I appreciate you. I'm your head brain training.
Wait, I had my coffee up. You didn't notice.
Oh, I see the coffee, but I couldn't tell. I didn't have my glasses
on. And I couldn't.
Top left.
You couldn't have your glasses on. Oh my goodness.
Well, it says I'm away. That's why on my side, when you pop up, it says your little coffee and says I'm away.
Oh, that's weird. That doesn't, it just shows me the coffee. I thought I was going to put something else up besides my hand.
Okay.
But then maybe that is the issue because I couldn't find the microphone at all. It wouldn't even work on my phone. It's just bizarre. How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay. I got 3 answers.
3? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm traveling not this morning, tomorrow. I'm traveling tomorrow. I want to I have traveled all over the world, but I want to have a different experience than I usually have. So how would I create that?
Why would you want a different experience? What would be the benefit of a different experience for you?
That's a good question. Oh my God. Of course, you, instead of giving me an answer, you're asking me a question.
Well, I just taught that 5 minutes ago. It'd be kind of foolish if I went against what I teach, but yeah, seriously, you're about to go to a place you've never been. I've heard people who have gone there. I haven't been to Machu Picchu. I heard when you walk on the ground, this hollowed ground, there's literally a spiritual experience of the wind, of the sounds of
I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about the interaction with people.
No, I know, but here's the thing. The reason I want you to think of the spiritual experience that you're about to have because it leads up to this spiritual experience. If you talk to people who go to Machu Picchu, and I've talked to a lot of people, I've done work in Peru. I've done work with some large network marketing.
You have been in Peru, but you did not visit Machu Picchu?
No, because I work. Because I was there to work. I was consulting. Now, I met the guy who owns the train that goes from Lima to Machu Picchu. And we were going to
From Lima? There's a train from Lima to Machu Picchu or from Cusco to Machu Picchu?
From Cusco. From Cusco. He had come up from Cusco. So that train, I met the owner who owns that train. We talked for about 4 hours one day.
Oh, wow. He speaks English?
Yes. The point is that people who go to Machu Picchu, who have the breathtaking experiences, whether it's on the stairs up or the stairs down, I found a pattern in those individuals. actually the pattern exists in all people. The reason it exists mostly in Machu Picchu is because you're out of breath. You really have to focus on your breathing. What does all meditation tell you to do? Focus on your breathing. When you go to such elevations that we as traditional seed-dwelling people are not used to, you really have to focus on your breathing. One of the biggest reasons people have such spiritual experiences is because they really have to focus on their breathing. They got to stop. I got to catch my breath. What they're really saying is I have to catch the breath of God. I have to catch the breath of life. They don't say that, but that's what I think Machu Picchu forces people to become aware of. You have to catch the breath of life. Now, back to your question. The reason that you'll have this unbelievable experience at level, at Machu Picchu, on the grounds, is because you go with the anticipation of the story of spiritual experience. You getting into the Uber, whoever's driving you tomorrow, however you're getting to the airport, whoever wants to ask you to take your bags.
Oh, I'm taking myself to the airport.
Okay, so my point is that when the moment you become interactive with another human being on your way, make it a spiritual experience.
And how would I do that?
Very easily. Why would you want to?
I was, at least you didn't say very well.
You didn't ask me how I would do it. You said, how would you do it?
No, I did. I said,
Yeah.
how would you do that?
Oh, I would do it very easily. Why would you ask?
Oh, I said, how would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because I'm the one who is going to need to
Yeah.
take the action.
So
not
why
you,
would you
so-
want to? Why would you want a spiritual experience in the airport? If you did, if you
Well,
had,
I'm not
spiritual
sure that I want to. I'm not sure how that would feel, a spiritual
No,
experience.
I didn't ask you the strategy. See how we immediately go to strategy? I asked you, why would you want a spiritual experience?
But I'm not, and I said I'm not sure
I know,
that I would.
but so play along. I'm going to ask the witness to answer the questions. If you could have a spiritual experience, what would be the benefit for you in the airport?
I wasn't thinking of a
I
spiritual
know you
experience.
weren't. You're still not answering the question.
No, I know, because
know.
I don't have the answer to it. I
Okay,
mean,
but if you
I'm like
did,
digging in my brain
but
thinking.
let me ask you, what would be the benefit? What would change if you had a just absolutely joyous experience in the airport? If from the moment you started this trip,
Okay, a joyous experience I can definitely relate to.
Oh,
I can do.
to me, it's the
Okay,
same
that would give me a big smile on my face. I'd just be smiling the
and with
entire
as much traveling as you have to do tomorrow and over the course of the next couple of weeks, would you like to smile more or frown more?
Well, smile, of course.
Okay, so what would be the new story? What would Silke Carpenter have to say to Silke Carpenter about this trip that you're going to smile more?
What would Sean do to smile more?
Well, it's not. I ain't going on the trip.
Well, what would Sean do in a situation like that?
Well, what would Silke do?
Well, for me to smile more, I would need to talk to more people, because it really brings me a lot of joy to interact with people, to talk to people, to get to know people. So,
And if you want to smile more, what would be the interactions that people would have with you? What kind of people would magically appear to interact with you?
people that like joy, I would think.
So if you set the intention, there's going to be a lot of people who are frustrated, aggravated, agitated. My goal is to interact with people that one of two things: bring me joy, or I get to experience a new level of joy with them. That's it. Those are the only people I'm going to have interactions with. Somebody's mad, frustrated, aggravated, they're cussing out the thing, I'm going to go, isn't that fascinating? I love that that's happening over there. I'm looking for the next spiritual encounter, the next joyous encounter, whether I bring it to them, they bring it to me, or together we have it, and we catapult it, we exponentially increase the joy of the trip. It's literally that simple to start. Start with, Covey said, start with the end in mind. So start with the intention of joy. Walk into the airport. You may, oh my gosh, I couldn't find a parking spot. I couldn't have no joy. Oh my God, I get to search for a parking spot. From the moment because when you say I'm going to be in joy in my trip, your old story is going to go, well, that was stupid to say that. Nothing that you're not going to be in joy. You're not going to find I can't find a parking spot. You have to be in joy.
We're not needing a parking spot, so.
Okay.
because I am renting a car tomorrow morning. I'm driving to LA. I'm dropping the car there, and then
Awesome. So imagine now
the
you
car
already
rental shuttle is going to take me to the airport.
love it. Great strategy. Now, when you go to, you got to turn the keys. Are you going to drop the keys off or go to the counter or just leave them in the car? Probably leave them in the car, right? When you pull in.
When you pull in, they usually stand there and.
So what are you going to say? What are you going to say to the person checking you in?
Hi, how are you today?
How about if you thank
Are
them
you
for what they
having a
do?
most amazing day? How about what?
How about if you thank them for what they do?
Oh,
Here's the
that would be
question. So
good.
this is how I get unbelievable rewards and everything else. I'll say, hey, listen, I'll see if I can see their name. Maria. Hey, Maria. Hey, listen, has anybody thanked you for what you do today? And you watch, they're literally, their body recoils because they're like, what? They've never heard such a powerful, pleasant question. Because they're coming to deal with people going, the thing's out of gas, blah, 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 whatever. Hey, has anybody thanked you for what you do? Well, yeah, some people have. Can I thank you? Oh, and by the way, Maria, for all those that never got a chance to say thank you from all of that. And you watch their spirit change, not their body, their spiritual experience. Oh, well, thank you. I'm just doing my job. I know, and you're doing it wonderfully. They got the right person in the right place.
Wow, you are just so charming, Sean.
Because I want a joyous world around me. I don't give a rat's ass if the person in front of her just told her that she's an idiot and she blah, 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 blah. I'm going to change my personality influences my personal reality. You cannot walk into my world and be a miserable slug. You can't. You won't stay in my world. Yet people flock to my world because they're like, I just love being around this guy. So if you want to have a joyous experience,
Yes.
if you want to have the most amazing conversations, I would start off with the moment you arrive at the rental place saying, thank you for letting me just have, I'm going to Machu Picchu. This is the most amazing start to one of my trips because you guys were kind enough to let me rent a car so that when I came here, I didn't have to park a car. I dropped it off right here. It was perfect. It was perfect. Thank you for starting my trip so wonderfully. She's like, I had nothing to do with that. I don't care you had nothing to do with it. I'm telling the universe this is starting off, and the universe is like, okay, Carpenter wants more good stuff when she goes into the airport to check in. We got to keep this story going. It's literally how it happens. Because it's not strategy. Well, how am I going to have a good time inside the airport? I don't know, but the universe has got to figure it out. I put the universe, I go, listen, let's see how big you are, universe. God, let's see how good you are. There's a lot of jackholes in the airport. Make sure I only get the good ones.
There's a lot of jackals.
And I'll walk across the street and usually walking, and I used to fly out of Dallas, DFW all the time.
Yes.
And I would park in section 4. Didn't matter what terminal I was flying out of. So, because I could never find my car when I come back after a week or 2 weeks. So I always parked in the same parking spot in terminal 4 so that when I left, it was like going home to my car. I knew it was, I'd have to get on the train and go over to here and get on the tram and get out there and boom, and there's my car. I never had to worry about my car because after I walked around the airport for 2 or 3 hours, frustrated, aggravated, and trying to call it and trying to beat my thing, beep, beep, I wasn't even in the right terminal. So I fixed that.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
I fixed that problem. Then crossing the street. So I would start with this idea. I'm going to have a good flight. I'm going to have a good flight. I'm going to have a good flight. This is going to be awesome. And I would see somebody in the parking lot. We'd ride up in the elevator from level 3 and we'd ride up to level 1 in the elevator. And all of a sudden we're having this great conversation with this beautiful woman, this handsome guy, this amazing family, whatever it is, who's ever in the elevator and walking across the street, 6 lanes of traffic, usually somebody blowing through and blowing their horn. I'm like, son of a, what the hell? And it would every time it would try to take my energy away until I said, I'm not even going to have, I had to prepare for all of the activities. I'm going to have such a beautiful walk across the alley, the roadway. Never again did anybody ever blow their horn. You have to set your intentions for everything you are intentional about. Your life becomes intentional, not reactionary. If people are asking how, it's because their life is reactionary. Well, how do I deal with that? Why would you want to deal with it? Well, because it's going to happen. So you are already planning it. Well, but yeah, but I mean, it can't be the other. Okay. How's that working for you? If we become intentional, the universe will give us any intention. It's called auto suggestion. What do you want it to be like? I would spend all, because here's the thing, you'll spend all night thinking about it. If you did, I'm just saying. And then the first thing that goes wrong, you're going to go, well, Sean was wrong. That's still your reaction. The old story wants to show up so you can have a miserable time. Well, I don't want a miserable time. Then focus on having a fun time, a joyous
I
time.
never have a miserable time, but I have run
You have
into
miserable stories.
snack. Well, one time I got to the car rental place, and evidently I had never finished my reservation. So they said, "Oh, we don't have your reservation." I'm like, "Well, this is weird. Look, it's right here." And they go, "But there's no number." So I literally never finished the reservation. I had that happen once, but so I
So here's the
anyway.
thing. This is perfect training. Silke, you give some of the best trainings that slip in under the radar.
To whom?
Most people to the universe. You can use this in all trainings. Here's let me this is how my mind works, right? You're always amazed at how did you think that? Because you just taught me it. Most people make a reservation for their goal, for their dream, for their wants, for their wishes. They never hit the submit button. And then when they arrive at the destination where they're supposed to be receiving their joy, their happiness, they're like, we don't have a reservation, but I made it. No, you never hit the submit button. And the submit button is the state you choose to be in.
Wow, Sean. That's definitely a gold nugget. Should be
And
to
you taught
everyone
it.
on your call.
You mined it. All I
On
did
this
was
call.
reform it. You mined it. All I did was reform it.
But you even thinking of it, I mean, I see all these people on the call right now. I don't think any of them, well, I shouldn't make that
Well, and here's the
assumption.
thing. They shouldn't be thinking of it like that, because if they were, they'd have their own call. That's me being a little egotistical. If they thought of that, they'd have their own call. They can't think of that. But here's the thing. All of you could understand that. Drop a U in the chat if you understand what I just said. Because if you can understand it, you are of the caliber to have your own call and teach this.
Looks like only Diane.
Well, I know. And that's, other people go, oh, okay, I need to do
And Louise. Well, that's two people. That's good.
hey, listen, two's better than none. But my point is that decide you're going to have joy. I would put a picture of Lola Bean somewhere right on your luggage or somewhere that you always see it. Put it in your journal. I would keep a little track of things that make you excited, things that make you smile, and I keep a little tick, the 4 and then the #4, right? The little counter, and see how many times joy showed up, snuck up, and surprised you.
That's a good one.
Go with the intent of going, hey, listen, universe, God, spirit, energy, airport, LAX, I want you to surprise me. I want to be the poster child for being surprised on this trip of joy and happiness, not surprised in misery and aggravation. I choose your intention. I want to be so excited that I just absolutely, you have given me the best experience. And this is where you can literally test. A lot of times we'll test God. We'll test the universe going, well, you got to show me that I had nothing to do with this, right? You've heard mentors talk about that. Coaches talk about that.
No, I've never heard anybody
Okay,
talk
so
about
here's what
that.
they say. Here's what they would say. When you have such a goal that is so big and beyond what you currently do, you can ask the universe, you can ask God, God, show me I had nothing to do with this. Show me it was your hand in this. Show me that you absolutely are watching over me, that you did something, that something came to me in a way I had no control over it, in a way I had no idea of it, yet I know that it was you. And you'll be surprised. This is those moments where people say, you won't believe what happened. And I can promise you there's a thousand, without exaggerating the number, without giving some huge, there are 1,000 you won't believe what happened moments on your trip from right now to when you arrive back home safe and sound, healthier than you've ever been, wealthier than you've ever been. There are 1,000 experiences for you to have, 1,000, at least 1,000. The challenge is that we have them and we shove them aside. We're waiting for the next one and waiting for the next one. And we're waiting for the next one. And then we have so many good ones. We're waiting for the shoe to drop and go, oh, well, see, there's what normally happens to me. And we forget all of the 1,000 of good things. I promise you, all of you. She's going on a trip to Machu Picchu. All of you are going into the universe, into a place that's never existed before. Hers happens to have a name called Machu Picchu. Yours is called tomorrow. Every one of you is going into a destination that doesn't exist, that does not exist, because you're going to be wealthier, because you're going to be healthier than you are right now. That place doesn't exist right now. If you're going to be more, it doesn't exist right now. You are going to your own Machu Picchu on the top of a mountain. If you maintain, if you catch your breath, if you have these breathless moments, if you have to go, oh, I got to focus on my breathing. That would be called meditation here. That's called going to 14,000 feet in Machu Picchu. You're going to have to catch your breath. When you have faith that tomorrow is going to be better than today, how could you not be wildly excited going, oh my God, today's amazing. Tomorrow's going to be better. I want better. I'm prepared for better. I'm going to practice better right now. Yes. And now that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you fire up your desire, how you kick in your faith. And I promise you, tomorrow, the next moment will be better. And there was never one question of, well, how am I going to do that? You just go do it. Get your butt in gear.
You are so inspiring. What is it you have in your coffee this morning? Or what is it you popping in your mouth?
My nutritionals, my 22 nutritionals that I take every day.
22?
Yep.
Oh my God, no
1,
wonder.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then my colostrum, 29. Inside is 29, my colostrum. My mushroom, 30. My blue spirulina, 31. That's in my coffee, 2 scoops of blue spirulina. And Heather told me I could actually put this chocolate element electrolyte in my coffee that I don't use sugar anymore. I put my element in and it replaces my stevia. So it's awesome. So about 33 things a day I take.
Oh my goodness. And which one helps you most?
I have done the research that they all work synergistically. Oh, and then 33 would be my methylene blue.
That's almost as long as my list for my man.
Well, it's because I found my woman. I got to use all of this so I can maintain my woman.
Well, yeah, that might be a good idea. But I don't know anyone that takes that many supplements. Oh my God. That's because you take the colostrum, and Lisa says that's all you need.
Well, her body, that's all she needs. My body, because of the way I wrecked it over the years, needs some other stuff. Colostrum. Now, I take 5 scoops. I take 12 scoops of the colostrum a day.
12 scoops? That's more than Curtis takes.
Yep.
And that, well, how much he takes is already crazy.
Yeah, I take therapeutic doses.
Oh my goodness.
That's why this may say take 2, but when I do the research, it's 2 based on somebody who weighs 180 pounds. Now, I used to have to take more because I weighed a lot more, but I take it more based upon my weight, because this is, again, a lot of the nutritional direction is minimum DMA, daily minimum DMR, daily minimum required. I don't want to do the minimum. I was taking a ketone that did 4,000% of B12.
Wow, you blow me away. There's always some news about you, some surprise. Oh my God, I don't know any man that takes that many supplements. And there's only there's Rajan here and Bob. I wonder how many they take, but I really doubt
I know
that.
Bob takes a dozen or so because of his network marketing company, and they're good stuff. They're powerful stuff. I take the ones that, again, they're designed at a cellular level. And things I never knew. I didn't know about Taduka or that one. I never knew about that one. Heather's guiding me on a lot of things. And she goes, well, no, you don't want that version. You want this version. How many of you take pine bark?
No, what is it?
Pine bark.
What is it good for?
Oh, pine bark pycnogenol. It's good for cellular repair and the ends of the synapse of the brain of the neural connections repair.
Oh, how did you know that? Did Heather tell you?
I researched. I told my scientist, ChatGPT, I go, I need to repair the neural connections inside the brain. What crosses the blood-brain barrier? What activates that? What actually has a residual effect on it, not just a fire hose to put a fire out? What actually causes it to rebuild? Because I want to work on upgrading my hardware. Software is easy. I want to upgrade my hardware of my brain.
Ah, wow.
So that's why when I read these books, I'm literally upgrading the hardware of my brain. I upgrade the hardware space of faith in my brain so that I can have more faith. The reason more people don't have more faith is because the hardware of their brain won't let them have more faith. They can say, I got faith, I believe. You got to have space in your brain. You got to have the hardware. You got to have space on your hard drive to be able to store more faith. It's just that simple.
Wow, that's right up there with storing more knowledge. Wow, okay, you really blow me away so much. I sometimes feel like I don't know you at all, and then I feel like as much as you storing in your brain, I can't even store half of that. So maybe I need some of that bark.
Well, that's why I call what I do personal undevelopment. I help you dig out all of the stuff, go to the mini warehouses that you're paying rent on. If you're like, I didn't even know I had half this crap. No, I know, we need to empty it out. You don't need all these mini warehouses.
Maybe you should make a list of all your supplements for the rest of us so we can, and put there what it does for you. I mean, you know, what it's good for.
Sure.
So I think that would be a great thing to do, and you can stick it in the mastermind.
That'd be awesome, but that's experience I paid for.
Well, but you could share. You could still share.
I could share, but I only like to share things that people want. And
well,
if
I want
it, you'll pay.
I want it, so I'm asking.
Okay, but you'll wind up. You got to jump through some hoops.
Okay, I can maybe bring you an alpaca back.
Oh, there you go. A mini alpaca.
A little alpaca.
I had one when I was little. I had what I called a push me pull ya. And Dr. Doolittle, there was the alpaca that had the two heads from like the 60s or 70s. Whenever the Dr. Doolittle came out, the original, there was an alpaca that would go both ways. And so they had this little stuffed toy. I called it a push me pull ya. And so they're two heads. And so that was like my favorite, my frog, my toy, my thing. I couldn't go to bed without my push me pull ya.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Yeah. But I hope there's some alpacas that I can pet.
There will be.
Well, people tell me what a strange thing I look for.
Well, and then of course, you know, alpaca spits, so just always stand to the side.
Yeah, alpaca spits, and what's the other thing that also spits? That's very similar to alpaca, but has a different name. What is it called? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I'm thinking what Diane thought, camel, but that's you.
No, they can spit too. Yes. No, they're small, like they little
llama?
big. Yes,
oh,
llama. Thank
yes,
you,
there you
Selena.
go, Roz.
Yeah, it is a llama. There you go. Exactly. They spit as well. So they're very similar to alpaca. All right. Well,
okay.
I'm gonna let you go so somebody else can jump on and share some things. But thank you, and I'll be looking for your list.
Love you tons. I appreciate y'all.
Too.
All right, everybody. Well, there you go. There's another day, another dollar, another idea on faith. 6 parts to the faith chapter. Why so much? Because when you have faith, the walls come tumbling down. I'm your head brain trainer. I'll see y'all where?
Next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. Yeah. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us all.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you find your faith and have more of it, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Lee, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy. Gurgly. All right, everybody, go have some fun. We'll see you all tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and safe travels to Aselka Carpenter on her way to Machu Picchu. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sean.